Hi, I'm Dave Bonsall from PropDog, and I'm going to give you a bit of an insight into flash paper. So when you buy flash paper, more often than not, it will come wet. Okay, so we have some water over here, and it will become wet because when it is wet, it won't light. It's completely inert. You see, it just goes out straight away. So it's a safety thing, especially if it's being shipped abroad. A lot of people, or even though we have a warning on the website and on the flash paper itself, a lot of people don't see the warning, don't see the notices, and don't know why their flash paper isn't lighting. So I'm going to give you a quick video today, a quick introduction into flash paper and how to dry it out and how not to dry it out. Okay, so start off with, if you're going to get some flash paper, let's get a sheet over here. Look, it's in the water, it's been soaking. You can see it's completely soaking wet. It won't be this wet when you get it. First of all, we're going to dry it out. So we're going to get some kitchen towel, put a bit of kitchen towel down, and we're just going to mop up the worst of the water. And now your one won't be anywhere near as bad as this. So just lay some kitchen towel down and give it a good old pat like that, and get it nice and dry. Those are pretty wet now, so we'll get another bit. There we go. That's got the worst of it off. And at this stage here, as you can see, it still won't light. A little bit, it kind of fizzles like that. But now we're going to dry it more. So I will get some kitchen towel. Put it on the kitchen towel and take an iron. Now this, by the way, is the fast way to do it. There is an easy way. Take your flash paper out and just leave it out. Leave it out overnight. You can put it on a radiator if you want it to go a bit faster. It won't ignite in a radiator. If you have maybe a line outside, you can peg some on a line, it will dry quite fast. But if you need it very fast, this is the way to do it. Take an iron. Now, on an iron, you'll notice there are 3 settings on the back. There are 1, 2 and 3, and that's on nearly all irons worldwide. You want it on setting 1, the coolest of the settings, okay? It's hot, you can kind of touch it, but it's not red hot. And then you're just gonna put that over the flash paper and just go over like this, and that will pretty much dry it perfectly. So just go all the way across like that. I can see it's almost dry already, and there we are. That should be good enough to use already, just like that. And if I just tear a bit of this off, give you an example, there we are, it's dry to use. Okay, now what you don't want to do is to have it on too hot a setting. Now I'm going to show you this in 2 sections. I'm going to tear it in half, almost in half, and I'm going to keep it on that cool setting and show you how long I can hold this on. And it should go for quite some time. It probably won't ignite. If it does ignite, it's going to be quite a while. So you can rest assured, you're not going to put it on and suddenly boom, it's going to go. Okay. So we're going to keep it on there for a while, and it's still not lighting. So you can see there that you're going to be absolutely fine. You can do it on an ironing board. There's no reason why you can't, as long as you keep it low. I would put a couple of extra tissue sheets down, or a bit of cloth, or a tea towel or something. But now we're going to turn it up to number 3. We're going to give it a couple of seconds. The red light's on, so it's still heating up. And I'm going to show you what happens if you iron it on a high setting. And then I'm going to show you how it will ignite the flash paper if you leave it on there too long. So we're going to leave it on there quite long now, and boom, there we go. See, quite a bang. But if we turn it back down again and re-iron another sheet, I'm doing this mainly to set your mind at ease, so you can see, as long as you're careful, you shouldn't have any problems whatsoever. So it's slightly damp, so it won't ignite even though it's still cooling down. Should be good enough there. It's almost cooled down to the proper temperature, so I'm just doing it quite quickly. There we go. So that's now perfectly dry. One more time, like that. So that is how to use the iron to dry your flash paper. If you don't have access to an iron, or you don't want to iron it, you can also use a hairdryer. So we're going to soak up another piece now very quickly. But I'll leave that over there because we can use it to dry it. There we are, another piece soaked like so. I'll quickly dry that off. There we go, so we got the worst of it off there. So I'm not going to dry it too much with the kitchen towel, because you may not have access to kitchen towel. So this is the very wettest you will get it. It shouldn't be any wetter than that. And as you can see, it's not lighting very well at all on there. Okay, still a bit of a fizzle. So dry it with a hairdryer, regular hairdryer. It doesn't matter what heat you put it on. Keep moving it around. You can leave it in one place for a while, but don't hold it too close to it. It's not as quick as the iron method, but it does work pretty well. There we go, and that's now pretty dry. It's going to turn that bit to show you. There we go. Now I'm going to put the hairdryer on full heat, and I'm going to hold the paper really close to it so you can see what happens now. There we go. Now the hairdryer is actually overheated before that's got hot enough. Okay, so you can now have peace of mind again that a hairdryer will not ignite it. That will reset in a few minutes. What you don't want to do is to use one of these. This is a heat gun. I mean, you can use it, and I'm going to show you how I would use this, but it's not advisable. So we're going to put it on low heat, and I will keep moving it around a lot. Don't let it get too close, and use your hand as a guide. So if it's too hot for your hand, it could ignite basically. So there we are. Keep it fairly far away. Keep it moving nice and fast. And there it is now dry. And just to show you, that will ignite like that. Now what happens if you hold it too close, or have it on too hot a heat, or you move it too slowly? It will go off. Okay, so that's how to dry and how not to dry flash paper. The same applies with flash wool and flash string. So I've got some flash wool here, it's been soaking there for some time, and some flash string. Now, flash string is very different to flash paper in that it's a very, very tight weave. Okay, so if you try airing out with a hairdryer, you're going to have to hold it on there for a good 5 or 10 minutes, which I won't do for the actual filming here. Again, I wouldn't use the heat gun on it. The best way to dry flash wool and flash string is on a radiator, but in a hurry, my alarm's going off there, in a hurry you can use an iron for this. So one more time to show you that. It's not the perfect way of doing it. The flash wool can kind of be fluffed up a bit with the hairdryer, so I'm just going to show you first of all. Again, this doesn't light. There we go, and just going to give it a quick soak up on the paper first of all. There we go. So already you can see some moisture coming out there. And now we're going to run the iron over that, making sure the iron is on the low temperature we want. Now this can be very misleading, because you can think it's dry and it will feel dry, and it will be dry on the outside, but the inner part, because of the very tight weave, will still be quite damp. So even though you think that you've dried it off, the steam doesn't seem to be wanting to go off on here. Doesn't matter. So this now feels dry to the touch, and I'm going to break a bit off. And what will happen is, if I've got it right, it will just fizzle because the outside is dry but the inside isn't. Oops, there's the hairdryer going again. It'll start working after a few minutes. So there's kind of fizzling, but it's not really lighting. It still needs a lot more. This is the point we've had a lot of people return it back to us and say it's no good. It is good, you just need to dry it more. I don't know why that's still steaming, it doesn't seem to want to turn off. Oh, it's steaming again. Now, if you are using white flash string, be careful of how dirty your iron is, especially if you've been ironing flash paper beforehand. So let me just see what this is like now. So it's getting better, okay? And with a bit more time, that will dry out. As I said, the other method is with the hairdryer. And again, it will take a bit more time, so I might fast forward this bit. feels really dry now, but I'm pretty sure that's still going to be a little bit damp in the centre, but we'll give it a go. That's not bad, you see. It's just, yeah, you can see it's getting there. It's still not brilliant, but with maybe another 5 minutes of blowing with a hairdryer, that will dry out, but it's not ideal, as I said, with flash string because it's a really tight weave. Now the last thing I want to show you very quickly is the flash wool. Okay, and the best way to dry flash wool is really to open it up. Open it up so it's really fibrous, if you like to say that. Is that a word? Yeah, it's fibrous. It's kind of so you expose all the fibres like this. You don't want anything clumping together, because if it clumps together, it's going to hold moisture. So the wider you can pull that apart, the better. I think that's pretty good, and a bit there. Open that up as well. If you have a dog and you have a dog grooming brush, the ones with the really close teeth, they are fantastic for just scraping across the flash paper and opening it all up. It really opens up the fibres. So you can see all the moisture coming out of that. That's quite a bit. Let's move that to a dry area. There we are. We're virtually at the stage where we've got all the moisture out just by the kitchen towel. I think that's as good as we're going to get. And now we can put the iron back on it. Again, iron or hairdryer. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to separate this, so we're going to do half with the hairdryer and half with the iron. So iron goes back on there. In fact, what I would recommend with this, because flash wool has a much lower ignition point, you can iron it like that, but for safety purposes, I would recommend maybe you just sandwich it between paper towel, okay, unless you know what you're doing, because it can ignite with the lower temperatures if you leave it on there too long, and this is a much better way of ensuring that you're doing it safely. Much less chance of it igniting. In fact, I'll show you what happens. If I just take one bit out, I'll use a smaller bit there. I'm just going to leave this on lower setting. I'm just going to leave it on there for a while, and you'll find it probably will ignite it. Never actually ignited it on the lower temperature, so I can't be 100% sure on that. All a testing process. In fact, no, it won't light. See, it won't even light on the lower temperature. On the higher temperature, it will. So yeah, you're probably okay just using it on the single sheet like so, and that I think should be good enough. Let's have a quick test. There we go, so that's perfect. And for the last bit, this is still slightly damp. I'll show you. It will ignite because it's very fibrous, but it won't be a brilliant ignition. You see, there we are, it fizzles. So again, with the hairdryer, just give it a last little blast. Just keep pulling the fibres apart, make sure they've all got plenty of air flowing through the fibres. That will remove the moisture the fastest way. But again, as with flash string and flash paper, the safest way is just to leave it out overnight or put it on a radiator for a few hours. So there we are. That should now be good enough, dry enough to light, and boom, it is. There we go. Probably could have done with another 5 minutes. So I hope that's given you a bit of an insight into flash paper, what to do if it is wet, if you do need it in a hurry. If you do have any questions, please give us a shout. Thanks for watching.